right. There we go here.
Now, I would like to introduce the one, the only,
Me. Hello, squiddies. It's your boy Dre at the Tattoo Squid podcast down here in the bottom of the sea. Here with Pete and the middle class film class. And I guess your podcast is about the middle class of film class.
Yeah, more or less. It's three of us. It's me and Joseph and Tyler, and we talk about movies, but we're not like film critics, so we don't get too hoity-toity about things, and
Hoity-toity. And that's
yeah,
words that we haven't heard in a while. Hoity-toity.
yeah. It's we're just a couple of schmucks, and Joseph he went to film school, so he's probably the most, I guess, learned out of the three of us, and Tyler's kind of a pulp sort of dude, so he likes Hellraiser and classic 80s and 90s horror and gore and that kind of stuff, and Golden Girls.
Well, all right. Now you got to put Golden Girls in the gore stuff.
Yeah.
There's some gory shit.
We're working on a Golden Girls Hellraiser crossover right now.
Oh my god, the possibilities.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Zombie B. Arthur. Think about that.
Ooh.
Betty White in
the
leather
zombie
bondage.
as it is for years before.
That's true.
So,
That's fair.
And they utilize what you call B. Arthur's dick in every fucking joke there is. So they're like, oh, I haven't fucked that girl without even B. Arthur's dick, and
she's become a meme. There was do you remember that movie Airheads with Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi, and Brendan Fraser?
Oh yeah, with the radio station.
Yeah, one of their demands to get out was a football helmet filled with cottage cheese and naked pictures of B. Arthur. And they had to get all these weird things, and the cops got him. Somehow. Somehow.
Honestly, I could. We could. It's funny because there's a guy at my work, and he's like in love. Well, I mean, now he likes Betty White.
Uh-huh.
He was in love with Betty White when she was alive. So he's like, man, wouldn't it be nice just to have her one night? And I'm like, I don't know if you can last because she is a dirty bird. Like she can really, I don't know if she can handle, and he's a muscular guy.
Yeah.
So we call him John Cena for a reason.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I don't know.
It's a lot of women.
Yeah, I think she's gonna just put you over or something.
Yeah, she's a powerful woman, personality wise. She could probably bench press more than I could.
Yeah, cause I don't know if you ever heard my podcast, not lately, but maybe down the line. I had a question where who would die first, Betty White or Keith Richards?
Oh yeah, Keith Richards will outlive all of us.
Yeah, well, that was he died 3 times already, so
yeah, I'm sure.
But then most of them didn't have. They were like, no, we can't have Betty White die. No, she's a gem. She's a jewel.
Yeah.
We'll say Keith Richards. My girlfriend was all pissed about it. It's like, oh no, what? Come on, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
So, New Year's Eve, me and my girlfriend, we were driving around, and I don't want to say what we're doing because I've mentioned it many times, and I don't want to be like a broken record,
Sure.
A broken record, and a broken record, and a broken record, and also a broken record, and then but we go, let me write that down, broken record about 5 times, and stop. No, just kidding. So
how long you and your girlfriend been together?
We're going on 4 years now. So
nice.
It's going to be 4 years actually in October, but I'm probably going to get a text later on saying, nope, it's got to be this time. I'm like,
Halloween anniversary.
somewhat like that because I think we were doing a dating app
Hmm.
and we were doing like the typical, we were talking on the phone for like a month and a half, 2 months or something, or three.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then we were talking, and I think we were like setting up to go and go on a date. And I think it was like right after Halloween because I was making a horror walkthrough thing at a flea market,
Oh, cool.
and I was spending all this money getting all this different shit, and I love horror. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm trying to make it like really eerie looking, and
Uh-huh.
and I really have like an eye for it. Uh, which was funny because I have a Frankenstein kind of like, you press a button on the bottom and you can like make him taller, or you can make him look like a midget.
Hmm.
And I did that, and then a friend of mine that was at the flea market, he makes like horror props. So he made like a detachable, uh, like a beheaded woman in a box.
What does he
So
make him? What does he make him for? Just for fun?
no, he just does it, yeah, just for fun, I guess. And then I think he heard that I was doing the thing, and he just made it.
Huh.
So he's like, "Hey, why don't you put that in your attraction?" And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Okay, cool." So I put it in there, put a little strobe light in there. It was all dark. I grabbed like all these like not garbage bags, but they're like one of those bags that you can extend out and cover, the floor or something like that, construction
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like like matting, tarping, or something like that.
Yeah, and I
Maybe
had it.
drop cloth.
Yeah, drop cloth actually. Yeah, that's what it was. And then we would go and zip tie it to like the rafters, and then have it hang down. So then it could be like a nice dark area. And we transformed an old couch into a coffin. So it'd be like the inside would be like a regular coffin, but it looked like a couch.
Hmm.
And we had a skeleton in there with like these like, skeleton looking animals, because how
Hmm.
people like to be buried with their pets probably. And we put the pets there looking at you.
Hmm.
And the styrofoam, oh, not styrofoam, then we had some other stuff. And there was like something that we called the flea market had, which I'm like, can I utilize this? Which was like one of those big huge freezers,
Yeah.
that you slide the door, and it had the sodas hanging down kind of thing that you see in like bagel places.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Can I use this?" Like, "Oh yeah, sure. Use whatever's back there." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So in my mind, I'm thinking like Resident Evil.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So like you got all
Almost
like
like a meat packing facility.
not even that. It was like more like where the freezer parts, like you have like the smoke machine that looks like it's frozen, and
Okay.
there's like dead bodies just hanging in there, like oh yeah, like meat. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Like meat. But
Yeah.
it's like, there's a dead body just hanging there like a corpse and all that, and then there's
Hmm.
like another corpse, and there's eyes just peeking out of the fog of the thing, almost like a mixture of Resident Evil and the fog.
I one year I worked at a haunted house as a I did two things. We did one. I was a werewolf in front of the house. So we'd walk up, and it was not like a haunted house like at a specific place. It was just in someone's neighborhood in the suburbs.
Yeah,
And I didn't know the people who made it, but one of my friends was working it in another capacity. So he said, "Hey, we need another body. Come on out." And I was to the age where I'd stopped trick or treating, but I was still pretty young. And I dressed up as like a werewolf with a plaid shirt and jeans, almost like a lumberjack, but had like hair coming out of my chest and hair coming, like the gloves on, the clawed gloves on and stuff, and then the full werewolf mask. And we had chains. We wrapped actual chains around us so you could hear the clinking and it was real. And we had it was right when Bluetooth speakers started becoming really popular. It's probably
yeah,
10 years ago maybe. And we had snarling sound effects playing from someone's Bluetooth speaker, but we had them
yeah,
tucked into the pockets of the shirt, so it sounded like it's coming from the animal. It was pretty legit. The haunted house was good. They had a I remember the other very cool thing that they did was, and this is all just low budget, just somebody doing it in their house.
yeah,
They got a projector and recorded someone's face with like a sheet below, so you could just see their head, and they projected that onto styrofoam head from like the craft store, and it looked like a talking head, disembodied head sitting on a shelf somewhere. And
Oh,
that was
nice.
in part of the garage, and it had another speaker and fog machine and stuff. And it was like, wow, this is good. This looks really good.
Yeah, I did like pretty much the same thing, and I was like, oh, I had all the things set up, and like how Halloween goes, like you go and do trick or treating with your kids, or I had nieces and nephews, so we went with the all family, and then I'm like, oh, let me go back and see how everything goes, and I had like a tin cup, put like tips or something if they liked it, and
Yeah, yeah.
nothing, but.
no,
Uh,
no, no tips.
Yeah, no tips. I mean, there was only like they said there was like 4 or 5 people, or whatever, that went in there that was looking at the flea market,
Hmm.
and I didn't really promote it well, because I think I wasn't on Twitter at that point, and it was just like, I think once I started doing podcasting, I was on Twitter all the time, and
Sure.
and then like Instagram and all that. I should have just promoted it a lot better. And
Is that the only time you've ever worked for tips?
pretty much. I mean, that was the only time I ever did something like a promotional thing, or
Uh,
even like something for myself to show everybody what I can do, kind of thing.
hmm.
So,
When I was 14, maybe 15, definitely before I had my driver's license. I grew up in a small town called Vacaville, California, and halfway between San Francisco and Sacramento. And what was I gonna say? Oh, me and my friend Tim, we would walk around town when we had nothing to do, so boring town, and we would play guitar for people at stoplights. We'd once the stoplight would hit at a major intersection, we'd run out into the street and play guitar for people at their like car.
mhm.
We're just two stupid kids. And then when we were done and the light was about to turn red, we'd take our hat off and hold it out like we wanted tips. And I think we made like $10 or something.
Yeah, oh god, I wish. I think the only time I did something that I got like tips was when I was doing DoorDash.
Oh, okay, got it.
And that was just like recently. That was like maybe probably like almost like last year or something like that. And it was like it was fun. I liked it. It was just like it took too much gas out of my car as it is, and I didn't get the money for like until the week after, and it was like maybe
Yeah,
$40 or whatever. And
DoorDash right
then
now is brutal for with gas prices.
yeah, oh yeah, that was like way before even the gas
Yeah,
prices came on, and then it was like, uh, then all of a sudden DoorDash was doing more like for you to like, oh, go grocery shopping for them as well. I'm like, isn't
yeah,
that called
Instacart.
Grubhub? Yeah, I know, no, but it wasn't even called Instacart. It was just DoorDash. So it would be like
Oh,
for me going to like say like a pizzeria place for pizza and then bring it down there, or go to a Taco Bell and
huh.
bring it down there and or whatnot. But now they want you to go to like the dollar store, and there's
Hmm.
like a list, and you go and get out the list, and you take that card that they give you, and you pay it with the card that they gave you and everything else. And I'm like, I don't want to go grocery shopping for somebody.
Yeah,
Let somebody
that's
else do it.
interesting.
That's Instacart, like you're talking about, and Grubhub and all that.
Mhm.
Like they're doing that same thing. But it was just crazy how that is. But tell everybody what middle class film class is
Sure,
all
sure.
about.
So we're a twice a week podcast. We give a lot of content to the listeners, and we used to do just one like 2 hour episode a week, and then it became like there's just too much. It was too much in one episode because we titled the episode after whatever movie you're reviewing, and it would be like let's say American Psycho,
Yeah.
and people would be like, "Oh, I want to listen to somebody talk about American Psycho, but I don't want to listen to someone talk about it for 2 hours." Which there are a lot of shows that do that, and they do it well. Well, we're not that insightful. We're not going to spend 2 hours talking about American Psycho. That requires research and stuff. This is just us talking on a like a low level film enthusiasts, but not like film experts talking about whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, but what we do also is eventually we split the show up into two halves, which is the same show, just now twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. And Mondays it's weekly movie news. It's stuff that's happening in Hollywood or upcoming projects, interesting stories from people Army Hammer being potentially being a cannibal and what that really means, and you know updates for the new David Cronenberg is talking about putting Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart together in a movie, not his next movie, but the movie after that,
Yeah.
and whatever we feel like talking about, or
Yeah.
we'll do some trivia from time to time. We got live sound drops and audio we insert in the show live, and it's a lot of fun. We record it live like it's a radio show, so there's no editing. It's all done live. We have theme music and stuff. I don't know if you can hear this.
The quest.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
hear that? So we have little sound segments and things for different intros and segments of the show, and it all gets put in live like you listen to like a morning radio show. And so, like I said, Mondays it's movie news, and then we give streaming recommendations to all the listeners, all three of us. And then on Wednesdays we do one like deep dive review into one movie that's chosen at random. We have a spinning wheel that chooses our picks for us,
Yeah.
and some of the picks on the wheel are fan picks. So we do listener suggestions, and then the three of us have our own suggestions.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a lot of fun. It's fun. It's funny. It's supposed to be a comedy. We try to laugh.
Yeah, because I'm trying to. Yeah, actually, I think I have you down as one of the contestants.
Oh, for the trivia.
Yeah, for the trivia. Not well. Yeah, the game show thing that I'm going to be
Yeah.
doing probably. I'm saying September, but it could be October. I don't know. I gotta figure it out because I want to wait until all the episodes that I do and then have them posted and then get into it. But
We do two types of trivia right now. We just started a new one which is basically just who wants to be a millionaire. Essentially,
yeah.
take somebody that we know. Like my girlfriend is she's a very huge fan of Scream,
Mm.
and we just did the fan pick landed on hers. She wrote into the show. We added her thing to the fan picks. Scream finally came up, so she came on and talked to us about why Scream. And usually we'll have one of the listeners will like call in, give
Yeah.
us like a 2-3 minute thing about why they picked the movie, get a chance to be on air. Have be part of the show, or just if you don't want to be on the show, just write in a little thing. And we'll read it on the air. But with Brianna, she came on and she talked about Scream, and then she was just kind of just riffing with us. So we were going to bring her on and do a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire type of trivia, all about Scream, and with the questions progressively harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then we do another version where we'll say something like, we'll do it for points, and we'll pit two people against each other. And sometimes those are other podcast hosts. Sometimes it's the two of us. Sometimes it's Joseph and Tyler against each other.
Yeah.
Or someone will call in and be like, "Hey, I want to play against Joseph." And we'll have them play against one of the hosts. And the questions though there are things like 30 seconds on the clock. Name 5 movies that are not Jurassic Park that have the dinosaur in it. And you have to do 5 movies in 30 seconds
Oh.
off the top of your head. And it's surprisingly stressful when it's 30 seconds clicking or ticking, because we have theme music playing and it gets in your head.
Oh. Do, 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 do.
Yeah. So it's a really fun time, and most of the episodes have kind of the similar format, but we have different segments and things that will go in. Like we have a Ezra Miller watch every time there's a new Ezra Miller update. We have theme music for it and stuff. And
What kind of stuff you got into now, and what jail cell is he in now?
Exactly.
I mean, is there really going to be like a Flash movie, or are they just gonna?
That was the update today. It was that the I think it's Warner Brothers is the parent company. Well, regardless, the executives are essentially had an emergency meeting saying that there's so much money dumped into the Flash solo movie, and it's been put off for so long that they have to commit to release it in theaters instead of just like burying it and put it in streaming, because they've spent so much money on it. The only chance they have to recoup that much money back is to go to theaters.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a Morbius 2 situation.
Oh, okay.
The ridiculousness of it. But then again, I mean, the movie itself could stand on its own, just because Ezra Miller seems to be a strange public figure. I don't think that might necessarily doesn't take away from the quality of the movie. I think it's already been shot and done, and I liked Ezra Miller in every time that I've seen their portrayal of the Flash in recent movies.
Yeah. Like even we call it the Justice League movie, and I watching it
Zack
there.
Snyder's.
Yeah, it's just I mean, he has a. I don't want to say he's funny looking, but it's like he's
Snarky.
yeah, basically like just, because like that one scene where he's running, he's like, oh, I'm really fast, and then Superman's like, I
Oh,
see
just
you.
looks at him. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks at me. Go, what? You can
Yeah.
fucking see me, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I tried out actually to do like I was saying in the last episode. I was with this guy, uh, Russ. We call it for 90 for chill,
Uh,
and he was like, I turned around and I said, I was trying out, for the Purge series actually,
hmm.
and I still want to try to do like some kind of like horror movie thing.
Hmm.
I put myself out there on Twitter. I'm like, listen, any producer, director, whoever. Um, I didn't put like names down. I just like
Sure.
director, whatever, and I'm like, listen, I'll play anything, like a non-speaking role.
Sure.
And I'm like, I'll wear a mask. I'll be a killer, a victim. I'll be the dead body laying somewhere in the corner.
I was gonna say you could be the guy turning a valve on a wall,
Yeah, or
like a Star
whatever.
Trek.
Or a minion that like doesn't say anything. Is like, go kill
Sure.
that woman. And then walk away and just like start limping.
Hmm.
And then just like, because I've done it like many times. Like I was talking about the flea market, and like Halloween came around, and I had this like gym bag full of like masks and gowns and other stuff, whatever. So every once in a while, I'll go in like in the backpack, and I'll change into something different. So I'll have like I was the ghoulish vampire.
Okay.
There was like a skull mask, and it had like the old style like vampire with the high neck thing with the ascot,
Uh-huh.
hanging out, and then the long cape and all that. And I would have a cane with like a dragon on it,
Hmm.
and then I would carry around like one of those uh like severed head of a clown with chains wrapped around the eyelids or whatever that you can hang out in the doorway.
Okay.
So I would carry that in one hand, and I'm just walking around and not saying anything to anybody, and then kids are just like, and then like they get really fucking scared, and then I'll.
It seems like you
Oh,
like scaring people.
I try to scare a little bit here. I don't really do it like often, and actually
Uh-huh.
that one outfit, I went trick or treating with my nieces and nephews, and and my sister was there, my brother, and my sister in law. So we all dress up, and I had that same outfit on. I'm walking around, and we go down this one street, and it's like a busy street, so we're walking along the side. I laugh about it, but it's so sad because I'm coming down this way, and the kid and her mom are coming this way, and it's like, oh, look out for that guy.
Hmm.
And she got so scared she almost ran into traffic.
Oh no.
And my sister in law's like, "Oh, thanks a lot, Dre. You almost killed a fucking kid."
Hmm.
And I'm like, I didn't think you were gonna run into fucking traffic. It's not like I chased her in there. It's like I was just
Hmm.
walking, and it
Yeah,
was.
that's not your fault.
I know, but I felt bad though. But then I like the whole like look, like people just looking at you like, "Holy shit," you know. But that's what I was doing at the flea market. I would dress up and do a different kind of character stuff, and
Hmm.
uh,
What about do you do notable characters on Halloween, or do you just do whatever's the scariest thing you? Because I dress up for Halloween every year.
yeah,
Like
I mean, I do
I
the
go
same.
as far out as I can go.
I try to like, I try to dress up whatever I could find that is more scary because even my nephew's just looking at me like, why you have to be so scary for? Because
Hmm.
I even had like the pig mask from Saw. So
Oh
like the
yeah.
minion wearing the pig mask with the hair and everything else, I had
Uh-huh.
that on, and I went to my brother's house, and my nephew Seely, he was like 4, I think,
Uh-huh.
at the time, and I had this pig mask, and he just looked at me and started bawling.
Oh no.
And then my niece, and my niece is like, this is the girl that I always run my mask by.
Okay.
So if it's scary and she does not like it, I won't wear it around her.
Oh, okay.
But if it's something that she is not going to get scared about, and it's like, and she, there's like scary ones I have, and she won't, um, be that scared. So
Yeah.
she came up to my, her cousin, my nephew, and it's like, oh, don't be upset. That's Uncle Dre. That's a. But she looked at me and goes, but that is a scary mask. At like like 6 years old, she's telling the kid like like that is a scary mask though, but
Yeah.
that's Uncle Dre. And it was just funny. So I found like, and my brother's like, "Do you have like an old mask? I know you got a couple in your car." And I'm
Hmm.
like, "Yeah, I think I got an old man mask that has a long grandfather beard and all that." So
Hmm.
I do like a lot of different ones. I think I dressed up like a voodoo doll at one point with the pins in the thing. Just walking around. My nephews are like, "Oh,
Sending you a link into the. I'm sending you a link into the chat for this is my last year's Halloween costume.
oh, okay."
It's I was Obi Wan from Episode 3.
No, let's see. Obi-Wan. Oh, there
Can you
you
see it?
go. Yeah, there we go.
I grew my hair out long for it. I grew the beard out so I can do the goatee. And we used a. I went to the Star Wars land about 8 hours south of here and got the legit movie quality Obi Wan robes and whatnot, the Jedi robes from the Galaxy's Edge,
And
Star
then,
Wars.
yeah, and then you went against Darth Vader with the skull.
Yeah, that was one of my coworkers. He came in as just a skeleton to work.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool though, but I like that. I tried to do, and actually, we call my niece and my nephews to turn around like I said, they were like, oh, why you gotta dress so scary? I'm like, all right, listen. I said to my brother, I'm like, you know what? Next year, this is before I think even, as I don't call it COVID, I call it the shutting down.
Okay.
So I'm like the shutting down phase, and this is like before the shutting down phase. And I said to my brother, I'm like, listen, you know what? I'm just gonna go and wear something different
Hmm.
and not be scary. And he goes, well, what are you gonna be that's not scary? I'm like, I'm probably gonna wear a wedding dress.
There you
And he
go.
goes, dude, that's fucking scary right there. I'm like, me with like all my tattoos and just a wedding dress and everything else, and I'm like, yeah, but it won't be scary. He goes, maybe for them.
But it's still a costume and it's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, it's funny, like that. But then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, he goes, "You're gonna freeze to death." I'm like, "So I won't go to work for a couple of days." Oh well,
Boo hoo! I get time off work.
boo. I can get away from work here and there. No, oh
Hmm.
well. But yeah. So what's the most craziest costume you ever wore besides being Obi-Wan?
The first year that I dated my girlfriend, we did a couple's costume that was it was Ash and Misty from Pokemon, but it was gender switch, so I was Misty and she was Ash Ketchum, and I made myself a yellow crop top with red suspenders and like Daisy Duke shorts,
Oh
and
god.
and she got the whole Ash Ketchum outfit with the vest and the jeans and like the fingerless gloves and stuff, and painted her like the eye black under her eyes or whatever. And
That that's
it was a pretty good one. I've done that was a fun one. Um, I did a guy stuck in a windstorm one time where I had like paper mache um like newspapers and magazines around my legs, like if I was stuck in a storm, and had
oh
a
okay.
an umbrella, flipped an umbrella inside out and bent it, and then I had like a blazer on, like a suit with a tie, and we ran a coat hanger wire through the tie so we could bend it back behind me, like behind my neck.
Oh okay. Cool.
And he just looks like you're covered in garbage when you're just walking around, and someone's like, "What are you?" And you have to do the pose where you like put your hand back like this,
Yeah.
and the umbrella's flipped inside out, and it just looks like you're stuck in a storm. That was
Just
a fun
stand
one.
there, you're standing there in the thing, like, oh, well,
What are you, homeless? Yeah. What is that? What's you a bum? No, no. Check it out. I'm in a windstorm.
yeah. Yeah.
I,
Hey, alternative thinking,
Yeah, that was a fun one. I did a plague doctor one year with the mask and the hat and trench coat and boots and
Oh,
everything.
I was gonna do that one. Yeah, I was gonna do that.
I love plague doctors. I think that they got some of the coolest like I think we had a instead of doing the leather butcher's apron. He
Yeah.
just did it like a leather vest instead, and it looked pretty good. But I think next time if I do it again, we'll do the actual vest, the leather vest, or sorry, the leather butcher's apron.
I did the when I was living in Pennsylvania, and I like I said, like you do, I always do it too. I always dress like Halloween, and I try to find something that's different. And my favorite, I like into wrestling, so I love the Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go and find like the headgear, like the long like curly, not curly,
Yeah,
but long hair,
yeah.
and not really done up kind of hair, like the long black.
Yeah.
And I found like a hat that I can put on there, and then I got the overcoat as it is, so I walk around, and I was just walking down the street of like Pennsylvania, not even with anybody, just by myself, just walking past aimless kids, and they're like, "What the fuck?" you know.
Yeah.
And then just getting that reaction or something, and just stand there by like tombstones and just looking like like and just pointing like you're next,
That's pretty
like that
cool.
kind of thing. What was the other thing? Oh, we called years and years ago because you're younger. You go and try to wear or be like a pirate or be whatever,
Sure.
and I couldn't think of anything. And all of a sudden, I literally had longer hair, so I had hair that came down to here. And my mom turned around and she goes, "Well, why don't you just dress like a woman?"
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Okay." So I didn't. My mom, like,
But Mom, I'm the Undertaker.
yeah, no. We call it. So my sister had like, I had the cowboy boots because at that time when you're a kid, you and it wasn't even like when I was a kid. It was like I was like 18 years old or something. So I fucking just had like the longer hair and
Hmm.
we in pigtails, and my sister done the makeup on me, and then I had like she had like the sweatshirt or whatever, and I had like it just looked so bad, and I got this reaction like my bro's friends are like, "I didn't know you had a sister." And my brother's like, he's like, my younger brother, he's like, "No, no,
Dang, dude, your sister's
that
hot.
he's like, that's Dre." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Holy shit," and then just walk into the thing, and I'm walking with them to get candy and shit, and the car pulls up.
Hmm.
And it's like five guys in the car, and they pull up and go, "Hey," like what you were saying, like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, all of a sudden I just played it off, and I'm like, "You want to go?" And they're like, "Holy shit, it's a fucking dude."
That's funny.
you know. But then all of a sudden, there might be like a picture of me like out there somewhere on the internet. I don't know where, because my friend, I went to my friend's house and his aunt took the picture and like, holy shit, you know.
Hmm.
So he says it's roaming around somewhere on the internet. I'm like, great.
We had a great last year when I was Obi-Wan. We had a Halloween party at my house, and one of my co-hosts, Joseph, he dressed up as Jareth, the Goblin King from Labyrinth, and that was he had a pretty good costume. His was good, and
Yeah,
then Tyler is our other one, and Tyler's kind of a crust punk. He's got that kind of like grimy sort of ultra basic punk look, like
yeah,
very 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 like could have just rolled out of bed 2 seconds ago look. And one of our one of our good friends, Jay, dressed up as Tyler, and he found a black flag shirt and put it on, and he got a wig with his like long kind of stringy hair. And man, he looked when he walked in. I'm like, holy shit, that looks like he looked like Tyler, and he's smoking American Spirit cigarettes and stuff. And we were all sitting in the backyard. I'm like, this is tripping me out, dude.
you got to give me like like cartoon versions of yourselves like that, and I'll just post it on there.
Okay,
If you
I
have
could
it.
probably find the actual photos. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll put that in there. We call it, with the whole, Hellraiser, Golden Girls, the, like a horror show, Lumberjack Wolfman, I'm writing all this shit down. So
Nice, nice.
Obi-Wan, the wedding dress, yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
and then
So
yeah.
when you were talking about you're making all these props, these kind of like scary Halloween props. Do you work? Do you like do physical labor, or do you have experience with like manufacturing in your like professional life, or is this just for fun?
It was just more for fun. I'll just get like the costumes and I'll just put them on and just like walk around for some reason I think I have like a knack for making like horror like scenes
Mm.
and just like I really that's another thing I want to try. I want to try to go and get into like the movies and try to do. I mean, I know I'm like 40. I'm gonna be 49. It's gonna be like way too late to do it. But
Yeah,
and, like a friend of mine is a tattoo artist. He goes, "Oh, it's never too late to learn. You can be doing this." I'm like, "Yeah, but somebody that's like 45, 46 at the time."
it don't
Uh,
matter. It don't matter as long as as long as you can do it, you don't matter. That could be any
yeah.
age.
But I do stick figures, so we call it. I'm not gonna be able to, get like $100 stick figures or some shit.
Yeah, there you go. That may be a barrier of entry if you cannot draw.
Yeah.
Like I can't draw. That will not be happening. I
Like
think it would be fun to tattoo someone.
not even like stick figure wise. I mean, it's more like like when I was in high school, the only things I knew how to draw were like little facial things, but then make it have like long hair, but it's like feathered. Like a feathered hair, like that whole '80s look.
Yeah,
You have the long hair, but it's like all feathered back, and it's like you mess it up, and you can still it goes back the same way. You
sure.
know, and then I would make like a superhero kind of like be like the Human Torch,
Okay.
but and then have like muscles, but then they're just flying like this like all the time.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's like that. That's the only artistic side um, I have, and but now everybody says I do great with photoshopping,
Oh
and
yeah.
because that's what mostly it is. It's like not even graphic drawing of everything. It's just like I'll just grab pictures of everything and then just put it in. Just find a scene
Hmm.
and just put everything in there. Like let's say for instance, there's a podcast called Stressed, Depressed, and um, wait, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, stressed, depressed, and anxious.
Hmm.
And so I did a. The picture is. Oh, here we go. So basically we're talking about like zombies and the human centipede and Dracula, Elvira, Chucky, the Nun,
Uh.
Golden Girls.
Oh, more
And
Golden Girls.
and then we were talking about like some craziness like the angry sofa or no the evil sofa or something like that.
Okay.
And then you got the old spoofs like the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and Attack of the Killer Donuts
Yeah.
and The Conjuring,
Hmm.
and then I'll throw in like Jason, and then I threw in what the hell is it called? Say Anything, the movie Say Anything with the boombox.
Hmm.
He's
Oh
having it
yeah,
over his
the
head.
John Cusack. Uh huh.
Yeah. So then I had that like in the movie theater, and it's all like a collage kind of thing. So and that's what I'm going to put up for this week's episode.
Oh, good.
Which this one we call it like this is gonna be like the beginning of February,
Hmm.
and it's like I still have like February, March, April, May, and like and that's it. So then I gotta try to put all that out.
Is it? Do you delay it because it takes longer to edit the like the collage photo?
I don't even do like editing at all. The only thing I do editing wise is the audio where I just put like snippets of like sound effects and
Hmm.
like say for instance like for what we're doing I'll put in like a Hellraiser like we got some sights to show you kind of thing and
Yeah. Yeah.
put the little Golden Girls theme in there afterwards, and
Hmm.
have like, the scream on there, "Hello, Sydney."
So do you edit the show as well? Do you edit
I
like segments of the show, or do you just release it as is?
I do it as is like raw, uncut,
Yeah,
like what you guys do when you do like a radio thing.
yeah. We do the show is a lot of fun because like since we do it once a week, and we record it every Saturday. We release the first half on Monday, release the second half on Wednesday. There's very little editing, but there is a little bit of like level fixing and stuff. And we'll, if a dog wandered into the room, we'll cut out the spot where we're like, okay, let's let the dogs. Somebody knocked at the door, all the dogs are barking. We'll edit that part out of it, but it's not. It pretty much is exactly how you hear it, and we try to make it sound as like professional as possible, as if you're like gonna tune in and listen to this on like a radio channel,
Yeah.
radio station. But what's I gonna say? Oh yeah, if some people think that it's not truly live like that. Like we actually edit quite a bit out of it, and we so we started streaming every fourth Saturday on Twitch. We do a live stream, and it's literally the exact same show, and we just do it live and chat with the listeners, and then we release the same episode the
Oh,
next
okay.
day, basically. So it is actually 100% true to life as we were recording it.
Yeah, because that's what I tried doing as well. And it's just, even though it seems like, okay, well, this one's like, in February or March, where it's like, St. Patrick's Day, and they're like, well, wait a minute, St. Patrick's Day was in March. I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, well, I'm just doing it as is. I'm doing like in order of what I did.
Hmm.
And every once in a while, like if there's like somebody that has something coming on, like say for instance, like Geekspiration, they had a Kickstarter that was coming out, and they're doing this comic book thing that they made up, and it was a Kickstarter, and it was like
Yeah.
from this time to this time, and it's like, oh well, the ending date is like May 8th or whatever. Can you like put out, can you put it out early so that way they know about it? And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'll bypass certain people and then put that in there. So
That makes sense. Well, recently we've been we've been getting set up with some uh, public relations firms in LA, so we're actually
yeah,
getting set up with some newer release movies and getting screeners before the movies hit theaters and stuff. And along with that comes interviews with the production crew and some of the actors and stuff. So we just recently had on this movie that's actually out this weekend called 18 and a half. This will be out for a while by the time this airs. But we had the writer, producer, and director Dan Mervish on to talk about how it was making the movie and blah 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 and this and that. And it was pretty cool because we're like, hey, come do it the weekend before you release. We'll record on a Saturday. It'll release Monday and Wednesday, and then that Friday that your movie goes live. So it's perfect timing, and it's kind
yeah,
of nice because we have an incentive to get people to come on and say you can promote it live, like right before the release. It's perfect timing.
yeah. What kind of have you tried to get like actors, like famous actors trying to get on, or
It's a little harder to do when you don't have like big numbers and you're not like a known person.
yeah,
But have you ever seen the Greasy Strangler?
no.
That's it's not quite a horror. It's more of an absurdist comedy with a horror twist to it. It's the one.
Usually it is, yeah,
Yeah, it's very weird. It's about a old man who slathers himself in his entire naked body with grease and then kills people by strangling them. And it's like a Tim and Eric movie mixed with like like a slasher movie. It's so weird. But Tyler watched it and he talked about it on the show, and I was like, this movie sounds so bizarre. So I had to watch it. So I watched it, and it was fucking bananas. It really is one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. Like there is so much full male frontal nudity in that, and they use like prosthetics to make his like dick look like 15 inches long and deformed. It's so weird. But we got the guy that plays the Greasy Strangler to come on the show. Called into the show, did a little interview with us, and
yeah,
throughout the movie, if you're a fan of the movie, if you've seen it, one of the things that he says over and over again is he calls his like go-to insult is bullshit artist. He'll say, "You're a bullshitter. You're a bullshit artist."
Yeah.
And we got him to do a drop for our soundboard.
Bullshit artist.
So we use that in the show all the time.
Bullshit artist.
And that's his name is Michael St. Michaels is the actor's name. And he's been in a couple of older like kind of classic slasher movies in small parts, and then took a big break from acting, and then came back as an older man. And he's doing quite a bit of new stuff. It's all like low budget horror stuff that he's doing, but it's pretty cool. So that's the closest we've had to like
That's a typical actor name too. Yeah.
Michael St. Michaels. Yeah, he was a super cool guy too. He said before he got into acting, he was a hairdresser. Where it's like, yeah, man, that's why you have fabulous hair.
That's like I was watching there's this TV show back in the hold on, a sneeze is coming. No, excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Oh wait, I'm gonna be blessed again. There
you go.
Oh, there we go. But no snot flying everywhere. Yeah, and then my girlfriend like, oh no, I can't do it. No.
Yeah.
That's my little impersonation of one of the English guys that's on that. I'm not good with like trying to flash back to. There's Jeremy something, I forgot. It's like these three English guys.
The Grand Tour. It's called the Grand Tour now. But
Yeah,
it used
the
to be
Grand
called
Tour, yeah.
It used to be called Top Gear.
Yeah, because like Jeremy going to go, oh no, like we did something but we can't figure out how to do it, But anyway, so I was watching this TV shows like in the 80s or something where everything was like A-Team, Knight Rider, other different shows that came on like Fridays or Saturdays or whatever, and it was called Werewolf.
Okay.
And there's this guy John J. York.
Okay.
That he was like the star in there, and then they made a remake. Actually, they actually made a remake with the guy that played Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin was in it. The guy that played Snow on Game of Thrones. And
Kit Harington.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. See, everybody's good. I can't fucking get these names down.
I am kind of a freak about that sort of thing.
And plus, you're in California too, so there you go. Hence the thing. But anyway, I've been trying to see if I can get like John J. York on like my podcast to talk about how he, how big he was like in the the soap operas, to like how did he get the role in Werewolf when he's like a soap opera star, or did he do it before he came to soap opera or whatever?
Interesting.
And
I'm not familiar with that Werewolf.
it's a good series. It's actually on YouTube. You go to YouTube and there's like Werewolf, and it says like series like 1 to episodes 1 to 15, and then you go to another one and it's like episode 16 to like 24 or something. It was like one season, I think it was, but it was really I love the whole thing. It had that 80s genre kind of feel to it, but it had your. So the moral of the movie is, so the guy's friend gets he's bitten by a werewolf, so he becomes a werewolf as it is.
Okay.
And so he wants his friend to tie him up in a chair so he doesn't break out and kill again.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy." But
Classic werewolf trope. Don't tie me up. I can't be trusted.
Yeah, I can't be trusted. I don't know if I'm going to kill again or whatever. Blah blah blah. And he goes, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "That's why I had that gun. It has silver bullets and blah blah blah." And then he goes, "Listen, just sit there, and if I don't change, then everything's cool, then whatever, And then he's like explains this whole thing, what happened and what is gonna happen. And
sure.
Then there's this guy named Scorzini, which is like a one eye with an eye patch.
Okay.
And he's like, one of those rigger, works on boats kind of thing, but he's in it for the kill. So he goes and he kills, and he loves doing it. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter who it is or what. It could be a cop. He can kill the cop. He can kill this person, a woman, and he'll just love it. And then he can change within seconds when like the new guy, John J.
Hmm.
York, whatever, has like troubles, like not troubles, but he changes, but it's like a long transformation for him. But then the other guy can just change like that
Sure.
and just pull his whole face off, and he's like a werewolf kind of thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
And the guy's trying to find him and try to, because the whole story is like you find the werewolf that bit you kill it with a silver bullet, then
Hmm.
the curse is over. But then you have to sever the lifeline of that line,
Hmm.
and it turns out, and then you had Lance Legault, from everything from Airwolf to like A Team. He was like a villain on pretty much everything,
Hmm.
and he's like the bounty hunter searching for the kid. That he doesn't know that he turns into a werewolf, but
Okay.
he knows that the kid's been he bail jumped,
Hmm.
and he has to bring him in. But now he finds out that this kid turns into a wolf or a werewolf, and tries to search him out, finds shit that happens, and
Are are you a big werewolf fan? Just in
I'm
general. I
like
mean,
I like the
not this one, but like werewolves in general.
I like every kind of monster there is. So I like Frankenstein, I like Dracula, I like werewolves. I mean, whatever is a good fright
Yeah.
is good for me. I'm like, I could sit there. I could, like you said, Hellraiser. I could sit there. I could watch Hellraiser, like all of it, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, anything that has blood and gore. I think I saw this one movie which I have never seen, and there's like four of them, and it's called Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, Sleepaway Camp's great. The first one is bananas. I never seen any of the sequels, but the first one's nuts.
Yeah, the first one. I love the first one because I was like watching the whole thing, and just like the aspect of seeing the end. And folks, if you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp at the end, I might blow the whole thing for you.
Yeah,
But
don't go into it blind because the ending is one of the most insane. Not the ending itself is pretty insane just from a story plot, but more than that, the last single frame is one of the craziest last
oh
single
yeah,
shots you'll ever see.
yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's just like you wouldn't believe it if you would think of the person. If you're thinking of a person that is doing the killing and you think it's the obvious, it's not the obvious.
Yeah.
Let's just say it that way. And then but then when you see 2 and 3 and all it's just like so it's your low budget killing scenes, let's say.
Hmm.
The first one was really good. Second one, it's like they're trying to like, oh, I'm going to just kill this person and put him in a beehive, and
You're you know Josh G from Your Next Favorite Movie?
yeah.
He's I think he's how I found your show. And he is he really loves the actress that plays Angela in the first one. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure she's in all the other ones too. Um but I know he met her at some con a couple years back or something and
Yeah.
said she was super cool.
Yeah, but I don't think she was in the first one. I think she's been in like the second to like I think the fourth, I think it was, or whatever it is.
Hmm.
So I don't think that she was
Well,
in.
she was, I mean, I'm just talking about the girl who played Angela in the first one.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Because I don't think that she was in the second and third one. I think it was like some other actor. I think that was in that one.
got
That
it.
that played her character, and just went on. It was just like I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, oh my god, really? Yeah. And
That's funny.
like the movie *Malignant*.
Yes.
It, I hear stories about it. I hear people talking about it, and they're like, it's good. And then I figure, what? I can't really take everybody's word for it. I gotta see it myself.
Gotta watch it. Yep, gotta watch it.
So, and I watched it, and I'm like, really? Like, oh,
Well, what? Yeah. So this is a great thing to talk about. What was your take when you were finished with the movie? Were you thinking this is great, this is awesome, or were you like, what the fuck is this?
I said, what the fuck is this? Because I was like, it had its moments where it was discussing the fact of what's going on, and I didn't figure out that the girl
Sure.
was, who it
You
is.
didn't figure out what the twist was.
Yeah, the twist was usually I can figure out the twist like really quick, but it just like I'm like I couldn't put my hands on it. I just could not put my finger on it, and I'm like, okay. Then I start going into it more. I'm sitting there with my root beer and like those colorful rainbow fucking cakes.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sitting there, those Italian rainbow cakes, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch this and see what's going on. And then I get to like the middle, and they start explaining about the mental ward and the videotapes.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, this is getting better. All right, and I'm like, oh, really? I'm like,
I
it's been
in
better.
the moment when I saw the twist, and it just because the first half of the movie just, in my opinion, was just like all shitty setup for some big reveal and some big twist,
Yeah,
which for me it paid off really well. I was like, oh, as soon as they did it, you reveal what happens, and then it turns into a very different type of movie. You're like, what the fuck did we just watch? And
yeah,
in the best way, because you can say that same phrase and it's not a good thing. Um, in a very similar way, I still didn't love the movie, but I think I'm glad I watched it, and I would love to watch it again in a big group,
oh
just
yeah,
because this tone shift is so, it turns into like a Sam Raimi movie at some point,
yeah,
or even more off the charts than that. But there was another movie that came out 2 years ago, I think. I think it was 2020 or maybe 2021, called Shadow in the Cloud, and that was a Chloe Grace Moretz period piece where she's aboard like a bomber jet in World War II or something,
yeah,
and she's carrying some package, this top secret package, to some other continent, and that has a twist in it too that changes the tone of the movie from this like kind of radio drama into a creature feature. And when it starts, you're like, ooh, this is going in a way I didn't expect. And then it turns into like Fast and the Furious in an airplane in the 1950s or 1940s or something like that. And you're like, what? Who greenlit this movie? What the fuck is this? And I loved it. I had such a fun time watching that movie. I watched it twice because I was like, this is so stupid. This is ridiculous.
Oh no, there's two movies I'm gonna tell you that I thought was like fucking stupid.
Yeah, what's that?
One is called Rubber.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
yeah, it's.
I'm
I
like,
mean, kudos for committing, right?
yeah,
But it's ultimately you're like, okay, come on, give me something more.
yeah, and then Killer Sofa.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh my god, we caught. I was listening to Josh on not Josh G, but there's
Yeah.
another Josh on For Nerds by Nerds.
Okay.
So they have this thing where they will go and kind of what's that thing when you watch a movie together? The something party.
Oh,
The
like a watch party.
Yeah, the watch party kind of thing. So, but then not really a watch party, but they'll be on the same like channel or whatever where they can press like play and all that. So it's like, all right, you got it, and all right, we're all
Mhm.
synced up.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, they
Yeah,
do
and then
like
they're like, all
like
right,
their
three,
makeshift
two,
watch party.
yeah, but then they'll go three, two, one, and then play. And then
Mm-hmm.
you don't hear the movie, but they'll do the play-by-plays of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, like a feature commentary.
Yeah, so they'll like it's like, oh, like what? The, the couch has fucking eyes. What the hell? And he's staring at the guy at the top floor, and I'm like, wait,
I mean,
what?
with a name like Killer Couch, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, but then I started watching it, and I'm like, okay, this is fucking weird.
Hmm.
And then they get to the part where they tell you the story of how it happens, and the guy his essence goes into the couch, but he's looking for his long lost whatever,
Hmm.
it's like long lost love or something, and she's taking over bodies, and it was just like, okay. And I'm like, at least I could say I watched it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But yeah, Rubber. I mean, there's a friend of mine we call it. She loves the movie Rubber. Um, it's just like I'm like, really, the rubber tire can. I forgot what the name of the fucking tire, but anyway. Uh,
Yeah, I can't remember now.
but he's like has like the tire has like the mental capacity to like like squish or explode fucking
Oh, it's like
heads.
it's telekinetic. It's got
Yeah.
telekinetic powers. Yeah, yeah.
And then the only real fucking actor in the whole thing is Wings Hauser. Was like from certain fucking movies, like he did Airwolf, I think, like the later version of Airwolf.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, am I gonna
Well,
get this hour and 10 minutes back or something?
well, you may want to stay away from the Greasy Strangler then, because it is absurd, absolutely absurd.
Oh yeah. No, I mean there's some movies that can be so absurd that you look at it and you're like, I don't know. But then you look at it and then you're like, oh, okay. I'm
I'm
done.
down just for the record though. I'm down for anything. I'll watch literally anything.
Yeah.
I won't necessarily like it, but I'm down to give it a shot. We did a feature length commentary like you were talking about on the Cats movie, the one that
Oh,
just
okay, yeah.
came out like 2 years ago or something. That was rough. That was a tough watch. It was nonsensical. It was frightening in the CGI. It
Yeah,
was
what was wait, hold on. We were just like I was talking with another guy about it. Like Railroad Cats, I think, from the Cats movie, I think it is, or something.
there's jellicles, and I don't really want to talk about cats because it's opening a very sad moment in my life when I had to watch that movie and talk about it. Um,
It's like, no, don't let me go back to that
yeah,
time.
please no, God no.
All right,
Um,
folks, we're not going to go there. Do not mention this on any kind of
yeah,
storyboard.
that's my trigger word, cats.
Please don't let me do that again. No. They're like they'll be like Kevin Hart going, no,
Yeah,
no, you didn't
no,
do
I wasn't
it. He
ready.
wasn't ready. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I wasn't. No. It's like me watching oh my god, Grease.
Oh, yeah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah,
And I'm a big car guy. I'm into like classic cars and stuff and
yeah.
customs and things, but Grease does nothing for me. That no, not
Oh,
a
I
fan.
don't like the movie because of the fact that when like when you go and you're younger and you're hanging out with your cousins or you're hanging out with friends, and then your friends uh hot cousin from another country
Sure.
comes to visit, and you're like, oh, I'll hang over her, no problem, but
Hmm.
you're not going to get anywhere with her. And then all of a sudden after it's like, oh, I love the movie Grease, and then you'll sit there and watch Grease. Now you're like, oh, I'm fucking traumatized.
This sounds very oddly specific. Does this happen to you?
No, not me, but I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I like the
sure.
girl. Yeah, okay, fine. It's a girl, but it's still, hey, she got me. We call it fucking beer, so that was fine. Yeah, she was old enough to get the 40s, like back in the day.
Hmm.
Back in the day when all of us started drinking 40 beers, like Saint Ives and uh, some other stuff. So 40 beers. Wait, hold on. Beer for. Well, anyway, we go into that.
Is
But what
that the
else is
last
going on?
that the last piece of your puzzle?
Yeah, no, not really. But we could. I got like other stuff going on. So what is going on? Speaking of going on, what's going on with the middle class film class? Anything special? Anything new?
Well, if this goes up in like 4 months, then
No,
who
it's
know?
probably gonna be like a month or something,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, every week is pertinent to that week, so we don't know what's happening like right now.
Oh,
But I will say that one of the things that we're doing in the summer season is we do these bonus episodes called field trips, sticking to the school based, and we don't grade movies based off of 5 stars. We do it based off of A to F. So try to keep it in the school theme, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Listeners are classmates, and but we do these bonus episodes called field trips, where all three of us, Joseph, Tyler, and myself, and we all go to see a movie in theaters on release weekend and try to get the episode up that by that Sunday night, so you can listen and find out exactly whether or not that movie's worth your time. The last one we did was Alex Garland's Men, which was a very divisive movie.
Yeah.
Very, very strange ending of that movie. We've done Men, we've done The Northman, we did The Green Knight when that came out. Other field trips episodes we did during the pandemic. We did Mortal Kombat, Godzilla versus Kong, just to see if it's worth your time to even spend 2 hours watching a Mortal Kombat reboot.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more effective during actually going out into theaters. And the last one we did before the shutdown happened was The Hunt, which was super fun. A lot of people said that movie sucked, but I thought it was super fun. What a really fun movie.
Yeah.
But so if you're listening to this in a month in the future, there's probably going to be a field trip of whatever big movie is coming out pretty soon. We probably only do those maybe once or twice a month. But tune in for that. And if you just like movies and like listening to people talk about it and crack wise and play funny sound drops and stuff, and it's a good time. You should give us a shot.
Yeah, we could. I'm gonna try to get like some kind of sound thing or something. I don't know. I gotta try to figure out one.
It's hard. We didn't have it for the first 15 episodes. We were just recording off a USB mic going right into the computers, and the three of us were in 3 separate rooms. I built this big table here in our extra room, and we got a soundboard, so we have sound effects from movies and stuff that are on here, and other clips from us throughout the show. One of our movies that we're all big fans of is The Lighthouse. Have you seen The Lighthouse?
Probably not. I don't think.
Yeah,
So.
it came out in 2019, I think. It's Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and they're like two lighthouse keepers going insane on an island during a big storm. So we have all kinds
I
of
think I might have seen that. Yeah.
we have all kinds of sound effects from that movie that we play. But
Wasn't there maybe it was a different movie I seen, but there was something about a lighthouse. The guy. Oh, what the fuck was it? It's like when night comes around, there's like some evil like minions or something that storm the lighthouse or whatever.
That's called what is it called? I think it's called something about the skin. Not the reflective skin. That was like a maybe a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Let's see, Lighthouse. I'm looking up right now. Lighthouse monster movie. I did watch that. I can't remember the name of it though. Cold Skin. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was okay. It wasn't bad. It had some really interesting effects in it, but it was kind of like it was weird because it was like a guy marooned on an island with a lighthouse in it, and he began this relationship with this weird like fish creature, like creature from the Black Lagoon, but it was blue.
Yeah.
And all of the male creatures of that race were trying to like get her back.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was very strange.
It was strange. I was like,
you seen it?
Yeah, I seen it, and I was like watching. And I was intrigued. I was like, let me go and see what this is. And then I was like, I'll watch like any kind of crazy movie that comes out, and like, if you can watch like fucking Killer Sofa and Rubber,
Yeah.
you can watch like anything that's crazy and all that, and Malignant. How
about Dune? Do you like Dune?
You mean the new one that came out?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I never really followed Dune. I seen the older one where it had Sting.
Yeah, I haven't seen the original. I haven't read the book. I haven't seen the original. I just really love.
I never read the book. I seen the one movie of Dune. My girlfriend, she's like a fanatic for Dune, and when it came out on TV, she goes, "We gotta watch Dune." And I'm like, all right, cool. And I sat there and I'm like, I actually liked it. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm waiting for it to be I think there's like a second one, because I'm like, they had the girl, Zendaya,
Yeah.
and she didn't like talk much in that first one, but she's supposed to be talking a lot in the second one. So, But then now we're gonna try to get in touch with our, the boys, season 3.
Oh, you watch The Boys?
Oh yeah, I saw. We were watching like the first season of it, and our mouths like fucking dropped.
Yeah, there is a lot of shocking moments in that.
We're like, holy shit! And then, as my girlfriend says, and this is her phrase that she loves saying, and she'll say this to a T, like, it's like, mother of pearl,
Mother of Pearl.
So it's when she says that, it's like shocking shit. Like, I did not expect that. Like, neither did I.
Yeah.
And then then we were watching like Fear Street.
Fear Street's pretty good.
Yeah, we call it. It's a nice backwards setting. It's like, ugh, sorry. But yeah, we got into that one, and yeah, but no, the boys were gonna go and do the third season and see what that one's gonna entail about, because we always jump into a season where we gotta finish it,
Yeah.
and sometimes we don't finish it and we go on to another season. I'm like, no, let's finish this one, and then
Sure.
but then it's like the thing with Game of Thrones. We were in it, and then season 5, I think we were in, and everybody's like, you kind of made it, so it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of fills it out to us. Kind of a little bit of a disappointing ending, at least comparatively. I don't think that the last season was terrible. It just kind of shit on all of the plot from the first seasons.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the. I think there's gonna be a Lord of the Ring.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's an Amazon show. Yeah.
Yeah, prequel, and actually the prequel of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully, it's not going to be as long as it is, but see what happens.
Yeah, I'm okay with the long length. I'm okay with this, so especially with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I love that one. We've seen like every one of them. But
hey Jay, I gotta get going.
yeah, I know.
I'm running late for something. I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Tell everybody.
I don't mind chatting for longer, but I got a heart out.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, so wherever you're listening to the Tattoo Squid podcast, just go into your podcast player search bar, type in middle class film class, 4 words, MCFC for short. That's what we call ourselves. And yeah, just click subscribe. We're black and white logos, the 3 of our heads, the silhouettes of our heads. It's a fun time, and like I said, if you start listening and you like it, we read all the emails on air. We read comments from listeners on the air and lot. Pretty much every time. And if you want a movie to get reviewed on the show, you just write in, send us an email. We add it to the fan list. If it gets landed on, you could have a shot to be on the air if you want, or just send a message or whatever. We do a lot of fan interaction, so it's a real fun time. Yeah.
Yeah, we call it. I'll do some interactions with the group as well. Maybe.
Hell yeah, do it. Yeah. And then also, look me up on our Facebook pages for if you're like into. We do a lot of like movie memes and funny stuff that we post on the Facebook page. So that's facebook.com/MCFC podcast. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at the real Pete, but it's PEEEETE, Pete with 4 E's in the middle.
And then also follow me. Go to Linktree, linktr.ee/Tattoo Squid podcast. All the links are in there. Check them out. All right. Thank you there, Pete, from the middle class film class, and have fun in what you're doing later after this. So
yeah, man, thanks for having me on. I got a good time. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man, cool. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see ya. Bye.
All right, take it easy, guys.